Hello everybody and welcome to this 12th episode of Closing Out the Week with the Closers Podcast. Oh, I just fucked that up. No, boy, no. Hello everybody and welcome to this episode of Closing Out the Week with the Closers Podcast. I'm your host as always, Mark Alvarado. And today, as we have many times before, have a guest for you. It is a guest you should be very familiar with at this point. He is my best friend, Gavin the G-Boy Stein. Hello, sir. Welcome back to the podcast.
I had my mic on mute and totally started talking into nothingness.
It's fine.
Like the brilliant scientist and scholar that I am.
Yes. Most definitely.
Oh, yes. That's what I'm known for.
How are you?
I'm good. It's been an interesting week. Wait, what day is this for the people?
This is going to be out on a Friday closer to Halloween because the topic of today is sharing some pretty amusing childhood Halloween stories.
A little bit of trauma.
Some trauma, and also we're going to hear your opinion on Halloween Horror Nights and scary park attractions.
Yes, those I find them deeply problematic and disturbing. And I have all of the problems with them. I'm a pretty understanding dude, but that's where I draw the line.
Okay, well we will get into that, but I'm glad to hear that you're good. I'm glad to hear that you're doing okay, because I know by the end of this, your blood pressure is going to be a little higher.
Oh yeah, it runs high all the time, but we're trying to push it to the max. That's the goal here, dude.
Yeah. All right, so I have many stories about Halloween, as do you, but we have actually surprisingly many together.
Yeah.
Over the years, Halloween is something of a staple in our friendship for some reason. That's just a holiday that we're always around each other for, and it's made for some great memories over the years.
Oh yeah, the what's the earliest one that you remember? Like going back, I can think of I can think of one that I think is the earliest, but I can't remember for sure, and it might combine with one of the other ones we already talked about.
The earliest for us,
yeah.
In my mind, is the when you and I and your stepdad at the time created a fucking haunted house in your garage. That's the earliest one that I remember. And that was the same night that you showed me like the entire Linkin Park discography. I remember that too.
Really? I didn't know it was that.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Yeah.
Halloween is a time for sadness. Listen to Meteora.
Dude, basically I just remember you showed me that I got to your house at probably 5 or 4, so it was still light out, and my mom and Desi were with me, and we were all hanging out, and we just went to your room or your mom's room because that's where the computer was, and you just started playing Linkin Park and all that stuff, and I was like, whoa, this is so cool. I heard the songs before, but I didn't know they were Linkin Park. I just heard the songs from Zach.
Yeah.
And then you were like, this is Linkin Park. I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah, I had that was when I was beginning my my musical awakening into the escaping Christian rock and country music phase of my life. You know?
Yeah.
But the specific. Okay, so my theory was correct. I remembered one specific thing is the farthest back my memory will go, and it was that night. It was after you had come over and we had actually gone out trick-or-treating.
Uh-huh.
And on our way back to our house, we ran into this kid who was alone.
Oh.
He had no bag of candy or anything, and he was dressed
creepy
like...
ass shit.
He was dressed like the Joker from... because The Dark Knight had just come out.
Yeah.
He was dressed like the Heath Ledger Joker. And he was like... He, like, walked with us most of the way to my house, and we were like, yeah, well, we're gonna go do a haunted house if you want to come back with, like, your parents. Like, he followed us for, like, 20 minutes, dude. It was weird.
Yeah. I remember that. But I remember, like, he was like, oh, okay, yeah, I'll walk with you, or I'll, like, get my friends. And he never came back.
We never ended up seeing him. And he walked, I'm pretty sure he, like, walked to the house. We were like, this is it.
Yeah.
Maybe,
it was weird.
Maybe, like, something, like, really dark happened. He was, like, sacrificed or some shit. Some, like, witch
But
got
it's
him.
just weird because he didn't have any candy.
Yeah.
He just was walking around in a pretty good Joker outfit, too. It was, from what I remember, maybe I'm just me, like, having a...
Somebody for sure did his makeup. Like, I remember being like, dude, that's dope. It wasn't like he just, like, sloppily put crayon on his face or something. Somebody, like, professionally did his makeup.
Yeah, it was pretty, like you said, pretty professional.
And he was, like, in a suit. It wasn't, like, a costume. He was in, like, a little purple suit. I swear to God.
Yeah, it was, like, super official.
Yeah.
It was crazy. I don't know. It was a weird time. I felt bad for him. I remember seeing him walking by himself, and I felt kind of bad. But, I don't know, man.
He was a ghost.
But that's what I thought, honestly. I was like, shit, maybe this kid is a ghost or something. I don't know. But let's get into the crux, the meat and potatoes of this story. Because I feel like we're both kind of tired. I understand why. We both have very busy lives. We live long lives, but we're here to entertain the folks.
Yes, I'm a man of the people.
So, do you want to start, or would you like me to start?
I don't even know where it begins, so that's all on you, man.
Well, we kind of started it already. So I went over to Gavin's house, my mom, my little brother, and I, and we were going to spend Halloween with him and his family. So we get there, I'm putting on my costume. I forgot even what I was that year. I don't remember. And I forgot what you were too. I don't remember what anybody was, except for, like, Graydon was, like, this, like, mobster. He was, like, a little, like, Al Capone. Like,
yeah, I remember that.
Which is super fitting.
And Garrett...
And,
I think Garrett was, like, Anakin for the third time.
No,
No, Garrett was Obi-Wan. Garrett loved Obi-Wan. He didn't like Anakin as much.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's because I didn't allow him to like Anakin, let's be fair.
You didn't?
Mm-mm.
Why
Anakin
not?
was mine, dude.
Oh.
Yeah.
You get Obi-Wan, and now you're older, and you're like, fuck.
Yeah.
God damn.
Now I'm, like, really upset.
Yeah. That's stupid. But, anyways, so, your stepdad at the time, he set up this pretty elaborate haunted house in his garage. And he wanted me and Gavin to run the haunted house. He wanted our help to, like, scare people that went through it. So we were like, okay, sure. So like, we were like, okay, we're going to go trick-or-treating for a little bit. We'll run the haunted house for, like, an hour. We'll go trick-or-treating for, like, maybe 45 minutes, and then we'll come back and just run the haunted house, like, for the rest of the night. So we do the haunted house, and I remember, like, I remember that Gavin's job in the haunted house was to be the last scare.
Yep.
So he was hunched over this, like, medical bed with this, like, crazy, like...
It's like a strobe light blaring over me. I remember I had to close my eyes because it gave me a freaking headache. I thought I was going to have a
Yeah,
seizure.
there was this giant...
It was, like, in my face. It was, like, it was so poorly designed. It was, like, right in my face, dude.
Yeah, there was this strobe light like in his face, and he was wearing this like white trench coat.
Yeah, then there's to
make him look like a crazy like doctor.
Yeah, then there was like a fake patient laying on there or something. Like
yeah,
that. Yeah,
there was like he was like a mad genius basically. He was hunched over this table, right? And I was in the corner of the room right before Gavin's room. In mine, I'm just like, there's all these stuffed animals just like piled into this corner. And I was like dug into that corner underneath the stuffed animals. And you couldn't really tell because everything was flashing and there's so many lights. You couldn't tell if there was a person there or not. So people would go walk through and we'd scare them. You know, mainly it was like little kids. Yeah. Like it wasn't, you know, with their parents. It was just something.
We made one kid cry. I remember that.
Yeah, we made one kid cry. Mm-hmm. You know, like it's not. It was just nothing really happened. But at the end of it, they get candy, of course. So, you know, between people, me and Gavin would like be talking amongst ourselves, just joking, tossing out ideas how we're going to scare these people in the next time, or what are we going to do, like whatever. Well, as the night went on, the kids started getting older and older. And remember, this was like, when did The Dark Knight come out? Like 2007, 2008?
Around there, yeah.
Yeah. So we were probably in like, was that like 5th grade?
Yeah.
I'd say.
Well, it had to have been like, yeah, it was either late 5th grade or early 6th grade.
Yeah. I think it was early 6th grade now.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
Because it came out, at that time, I think they were still marketing the movie. I don't even think it was out yet. I think it was like still...
Really?
Yeah, because I feel like it came out like during Christmas time of that year.
The Dark Knight?
I think so.
That's interesting.
I could be
right.
I could be totally wrong, but
I don't know the release date. I thought it came out earlier, but you might be right. No, it did. It did come out Christmas. So yeah, you're right. That the Joker was just a really highly anticipated like character. And that's why you saw a lot of that.
Oh, nope, July 18th, 2008. Never mind.
Oh, wow. Okay, so it was 2008.
I rescind my incorrect.
I do too.
Wow. Fake news. This is a fake news podcast.
So, 2008, October 2008, we would be in 6th grade. Yeah, that we were like 6th grade, beginning of 6th grade. Yeah. So, here we are, 6th graders, right? Scaring little kids in the beginning of the night. And as the night went on, these kids started getting bigger and bigger and more rowdy and rambunctious.
Yep.
So rambunctious, in fact, that there was these kids that...
I remember specifically there were 3 of them.
Yeah.
There was 2 girls and 1 guy.
Yes.
The guy was like totally like, if you watch Danny Phantom, you know the jock guy, like the blonde jock guy who's like all big and buff on top and like skinny legs on the bottom. Yeah. That was this guy. And then 2 girls.
Yeah.
I remember them.
Yes.
I will never forget them.
And you will know why. Because Jeff, so Gavin's stepdad was named, ex-stepdad was named Jeff.
Yeah.
And he was the guy that was like running the beginning of the whole thing. Like there was this like mannequin, I think, that was supposed to fall down and drop in front of people.
Yes.
And like it,
and he was, and like, he had a very good like crazy guy laugh yell. He like,
yeah.
Like super loud and imposing. And he was a big dude.
Yeah, and he's a huge guy. And I believe my mom or your mom, or they like switched off by like letting people into the haunted house.
I believe so. Yeah.
So from what I gathered from my mom is that these kids walked up and saw that it was a haunted house, and she was like, "Okay, you have to wait because there's other people in there right now." And they waited for like not even 10 seconds, and they just ran by her into the haunted house. And now I'm making this sound like it's a big haunted house. It's not. It was literally like,
it's my garage.
You walk. Yeah, it was just a garage. So you walk like through this little like hallway that turns twice. Then you get to my room. Then you get to Gavin's room, and that's it. That's all it is. It's not a big thing. And these fuckers, they they didn't even like run. They ran through the haunted house. And when I say ran through,
they like, took down walls.
They took down walls of it. And they like ran through like okay, so I was waiting for the people to walk, you know, normally into my room, because right when they walk in, you see the pile of stuffed animals. So it's not like you have to like walk into the room and then you see the pile. Like as you're walking up, you're supposed to see the pile. Well, I'm in this pile of stuffed animals, and all of a sudden, the wall in front of me just like falls down, and I start yelling, and I get scared.
I remember hearing you yell. You're like,
dude,
you were freaking out, dude.
Dude, I start yelling, which scares these people even more.
Thank you for
and
that.
And they start yelling. And they start yelling, and they get scared because I'm yelling, and they run towards the exit, and Gavin turns around to look and see what's happening, and which scares them even more. And the dude grabs Gavin and slams him. He slams him on the medical bed.
He like choke slammed me, dude. He like... It was kind of like a clothesline.
Yeah. And I just remember seeing Gavin, just his arms just fly up. And the wig like gets lopsided on his head. He just falls on the bed, and they just run out of the whole thing. They run out of the fucking haunted house, and they just run away. And after that, we had to close up because the whole haunted house was fucked up.
They
destroyed it.
We worked for like hours on that. Like Jeff and I.
Yeah.
The whole night before, we were planning it, getting all the stuff for it. We spent like the whole morning getting it ready. Oh my god, that sucked.
Oh my god.
Then I remember those freaking girls. They were screaming. It was so loud, and then I just wanted a piece of the action. This motherfucker just clocked me.
Dude, that was the funniest thing because it looked as though that they just straight like pushed you out of the way and you fell face first into the bed. But upon reflection now, the dude like straight up like grabbed your face.
Yeah. He slammed me into it, dude. He took me down. And so one of the girls stepped on my foot. I remember that. I remember being, my foot was like bleeding. I
remember you. Yeah, I remember you being mad about that.
Yeah.
So then after that, the whole haunted house like stopped, and we had to close the garage door, and it was over.
And we like.
And then they just had to start handing out candy like normal people. Yeah. Yeah.
I always hated
that's the first story.
I always hated having to hand out candy after.
Really?
Yeah.
I never really minded it. I liked like interacting with people, but
dude, I remember there was like this grand master plan on Jeff's part. It was like, next year we're gonna do the same thing, and then the year after that, and after that, we're just gonna be the haunted house people. And then after that situation, he was like, "Yeah, no, never mind." Bad idea.
Yeah.
Maybe next year, no teenagers. You know.
Yeah. I mean, it was just weird. That whole because at first I remember you and I were doing it. We were having so much fun.
It was so fun at first. Yeah.
We were loving it, and then all of a sudden, as the kids started getting older, either we wouldn't be able to scare them. They would laugh at us, or you would just get choke slammed.
Yeah. Yeah, I do. You know what? That is one of my first rejections. My first one of my not like rejection, but like I do remember a girl laughed at me, like an older girl, and I was like, oh shit. I was like just hitting that age where I was old enough to register like man, that sucks.
She doesn't take me seriously.
She doesn't even, like, yeah, I was like, are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Tough times, man. Tough times
Very
in the
tough
6th
times.
grade. Whew. But
yeah, that was something else. And then there was a second story that you and I came up with while spitballing this podcast. Would you like to do the honors on that one?
okay.
Because you could definitely tell it better than me because you spent more time with the individual that is the centrifugal force of this.
The person who brought this just surreal Halloween experience into reality. And I could my memory is garbage, so I could remember things in a different order than they occurred, but what I recall is my girlfriend and I were at my house. My brothers were, I think they might have been with their dad trick-or-treating that year. My sister was at my grandma's, and my mom was out at a party. So it was just me and my girlfriend. Then Marco comes over, and our other friend Travis comes over too. The three of us then go out and we explore the neighborhood. This is the neighborhood that Marco and I grew up in since we were like little kids. So we knew it pretty well. We went around, had some fun. Came back to my house when I got a text from my cousin who said, "Hey, I'm here." Now, my cousin, I love him to death, but he's the kind of person to just kind of show up places unannounced. And Marco can attest to this. Several times when he and I were hanging out, he would just appear at my house.
He's like he knows. It's like he knows when we're having a good time, and he's like, "Oh,
I'm gonna come be a part of that."
Yeah.
and he would and he still does it. Like, I go up there twice a year now, and he will still find a day to randomly show up at my mom's house, which is like an hour away from our town. So, and I don't get me wrong, I freaking love the guy. He's awesome. But it was very annoying in high school when that would happen. Especially when I'm trying to, when I have a very specific night planned. Well, so I say, okay, guys, well, let's go back to my house. So we go, and my cousin's already a bit much for some people. He's, you could say, he doesn't shut up. He's one of those people that just doesn't shut up. So we get there, and he's like, "Hey guys, what's up?" And with him is, I don't know if anyone has seen Mindhunter, but he brought with him someone who looks exactly like Ed Kemper from Mindhunter. And I don't remember what he sounded like, but in my mind now, I give him Ed Kemper's voice. And this dude, like, right off the bat, was a fucking weirdo. He was just like, I mean, we're describing him as someone who is a serial killer from a TV show. So he was a weird dude. And he would do weird things, like, he, like, kind of awkwardly said hi to me and my friends, and then, like, patted my girlfriend on the head. Like it was like if you're, like, petting a dog almost, like, hey.
Yeah, it was weird.
And this was
hello, little boy.
Within the first 5 seconds of meeting us. He pats her on the head, and we were all like, okay.
It was very weird.
Then we're walking. I think we decided to walk through, like, the creek area, because I figured what we could do. My strategy in my head, and I don't think I even told you this, was if we can walk and just pretend like we're just going to keep walking, we can get him bored, and then he will go do his own thing. Strategy of attrition. Basic strategy.
Yes.
Well, what ended up happening is we walked around that creek for like an hour. It was a good like 45 minutes to an hour.
In a circle.
And I swear to God, it was Travis giving the two of them crap, Marco and I and my girlfriend in complete silence, and then those two talking about, like, fucking weird anime and their, like, Christian club shit.
Yeah.
and like weird drama in their Christian group that they went to. And every now and again, Marco and I would chat and go, "Oh wow, damn, dude, that's crazy." And then I'd turn to my girlfriend at the time and be like, "What do you think of that?" And then she would not say anything or be like, "Yeah, that's fucking stupid." And so this is like 4 hours of torture on Halloween, the night that we're actually supposed to be at my house handing out candy.
Yeah, I know,
sorry,
yeah.
Mom. But nobody was coming to my house, so we decided that's actually why we started walking out in the first place, was nobody came for like 2 hours.
Yeah, there was like literally nobody.
I think I literally got one trick-or-treater that year.
Yeah.
But, so eventually, in the war of attrition, I gave up. And so we all go back to my house, and we sit in my living room, and at this point, I'm just like, I want to go to bed. I'm done. I want to, like, play some Oblivion, or, like, I don't know, watch South Park or something.
Yeah.
So, I was like, all right, guys, Marco and Travis, and girlfriend, let's go to my house and watch a movie. Like, we could have a scary movie night. And then, of course, my cousin goes, "Yeah, that's a good idea." I'm like, yeah, awesome. So we all go back, and we're sitting there, and you could tell the part about the Netflix thing. I don't even know how to begin to...
Okay. So we're sitting there, right? And now this entire time, I'm looking at Gavin.
Death stare.
Like this entire like interaction, this entire night, I've been like looking at Gavin and looking at Travis, and Gavin's girlfriend at the time, and just being like, what are we doing? like why are we allowing for this random dude to come into this group and totally kill the vibe? Why can't we just all go somewhere? Travis has a truck, for Christ's sakes. But we didn't think that hard about it. We were all just like, well, where would we go? I don't know where we would go. So we do the Netflix thing. We're all going to watch this movie. And I was already getting fed up with everything. But this was the straw that broke the camel's back for me. Because after this, I left. Because I was just like, yeah, I think I'm just going to go home.
You tapped out. That's literally what you said. You're like, I want to sleep in my bed.
Yeah. I'm like, I'm just going to go to my house.
Which to this point was unprecedented. My house was like a halfway home for like all my friends.
Yeah, exactly. So I was just like, okay, this is just the dumbest. This guy that we randomly met because Gavin's cousin just brought him over was recommending us to watch these movies with highly sexual themes. And now that's putting it very lightly. Every movie on Netflix that had somewhat of a sexual, like, innuendo in the title, or it's obviously a very raunchy comedy, or anything having to do with sex.
Or if there was like
this guy was like,
or something like on the cover.
This guy was like, oh yes, this movie is a very smart comedy with highly sexual overtones. But like, he would go deep with his explanation, and I'm just there.
And he would directly get into the sexual part, but he would try to pretend like it wasn't sexual for him. Like he was like, I was studying it.
Yeah, and I'm just like, this guy's a fucking weirdo. And look, I'm okay with being around weirdos, because for a part of my adolescence, I was considered a weirdo by some of my peers, and that's fine. That's okay. But
I'm even okay with sexual deviants. I embrace them.
I'm okay, yeah.
Just not serial killer type ones, you know?
Yeah, I can handle that. But when you're, first of all, when you pat my best friend's girlfriend on the head like a fucking dog, make her feel uncomfortable.
Like 40 times.
40 times. She's the only girl in the group. And you're talking about these sexual things in front of her. I was like, yeah, man, I'm going home.
Yeah.
I can't handle this anymore. I'm done. I'm done. I need to go home, and I'm just gonna like eat candy and like play a video game real quick and go to sleep.
Yep.
Because it was like a school night too, so it wasn't even like we could do a whole lot.
Yeah.
So after that, I left. Now I don't know what happened after I left. So Gavin, you have to fill in the rest of the story.
So after you left, Travis thankfully stuck it through. He stayed with me, and basically the two of us made so much fun of this guy that he decided that he had to leave, and my cousin was his ride. So we were just, eventually we started commenting on his taste in movies. And, like, just mentioning the fact that it's fucking creepy that that's all that he watches. Like, he didn't have anything to say about things like Breaking Bad or Weeds or, like, normal shit. He only watched, like, the weird, obscure, like, kind of softcore porn movies. Like, that's, like, all he knew about. So, we provided him with some negative reinforcement. You know, it's like behavior therapy. You know?
Yeah.
He was being weird, so we taught him to act otherwise. He didn't want to, so he decided to leave. As he's leaving, he tries to shake Travis's hand. Travis literally refuses and walks and like says, "I gotta take a shit," and like leaves to go to the bathroom. He shakes my hand in like the most weird, like it was like you know, in the olden times when they would grab like forearms. Yeah. He did that to me.
He grabbed your
forearm? He like grabbed my forearm as like a handshake. He meant it sincerely. Like it wasn't like he wasn't joking. He sincerely, like, that's just how he shook hands.
Right.
And then he like, this is a weird kind of a comparison, but you know the Roblox characters? Or like the Minecraft guys, like how they're square so their arms go like straight out.
Yeah.
He hugged my girlfriend like that when he was leaving. Like he gave like a weird like, and then he like wrapped his arms around just a little bit. He was like, "Goodbye, it was nice meeting you." And then like walked away. And my cousin was like, "Later, dude." And then he cruised out. And I swear to God, I'm standing there, my girlfriend and I are standing there, we just closed the door. And she looked at me, she was like, "I never want to fucking be around that guy again." And if you know her at the time, you know how fucking funny that was, because she was like a tiny little person, like like just like a little munchkin with like a very like soft voice. She was like, "I never want to be fucking around him again." Like, so
oh my God,
it was
a munchkin, bro.
It was like not in a bad way. It was adorable.
I know, it's just funny.
It was like
it's just funny.
It was like the most adorable, like genuine anger that I was a little bit scared of. and I was like, I agree. And I've never seen him since. I don't even think my cousin hangs out with him anymore. I don't think my cousin hung out with him after that point. Like, I've asked him about this guy, and he's like, "Who?" Like, maybe something weird happened. I don't know.
Maybe because of that, he was just like, "Yeah, look, if you're going to be getting in the way of me and my cousin time, not going to be able to hang out with you anymore, man."
I mean,
if we know anything about your cousin, he values his time with you.
Yeah, man.
More than I would assume anything else in his life. And I'm sorry, that may sound harsh, but
I mean, maybe. I mean, I hope not. I hope he has more than to value time with me, because like my time is just like I will literally just ramble about the most random thing for like 4 hours. So I mean, if
I never would have guessed.
If that's his valuable time, if that's like all he has in his life, then that's sad. I thought that I had like 0, but like if that's all someone has is my rambles, Jesus. Whew. feel bad. That's horrible. But yeah, that was that Halloween. That Halloween. No, you notice from that story, very little Halloween in that Halloween.
Yeah, there was very little Halloween.
It was just a weird night that happened to be Halloween, and I was looking forward to watching scary movies with my friends. That's what I wanted to do. That was my goal, was to hand out some candy to a few kids, walk around for a little bit, maybe get some iced tea and like Red Bull, then watch some scary movies. Yeah. And instead, I got my girlfriend creepily fondled by like a serial killer and got his doctoral dissertation on porn movies. You know?
Yeah.
Can't win them all, I guess.
No, you can't.
Can't win them all.
You can't. We do have a couple more Halloween stories. However, I think we should save those for next year. We need to keep some fresh. We still need to have some ammunition.
Yeah.
For next year's story time.
And we got to create some this year, man.
We got to create some. Well,
we may be in different areas, but that doesn't mean we both can't put in some effort to create some weird, freaky Halloween stories.
Yeah, I may be playing a Halloween house show.
That's dope.
Year.
That's dope.
So we'll see what happens, man. We'll see what happens. But yeah, I think this is all the time we have for this specific episode. Thank you for coming on, man. I appreciate you a lot.
Hell yeah, man. Anytime.
Of course. And we will be I can't talk. Fuck. We will be back on Monday with a guest. At the time of recording this, I don't know who that is. But check the Closers Podcast Instagram account at the Closers Podcast and our Facebook page at Closers Podcast in order to see who is up next on the schedule. And without any further ado, we will bid you an adieu. Have a great rest of your day, night, whatever time it is. Take care.
Happy Halloween.